Hello and welcome to the Certified Ethical Hacker Study Guide. In this video, we will discuss Chapter 4.5 using domain name system zone transfers. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Now let's ride our way into the first topic. Using domain name system zone transfers. Another way to gather information when footprinting a network is through the domain name system, or DNS. As you know from learning basic networking concepts, DNS is the network component responsible for resolving host names to IP addresses and vice versa. People would much rather memorize a URL than an IP address. Unfortunately, using URLs comes at a high price. DNS is a major area of potential vulnerability for network attacks. Without going into too much detail, DNS uses name servers to resolve names. After you determine what name server a company is using, you can attempt to transfer all the records for which the DNS server is responsible. This process, called a zone transfer, can be done with the dig command. If you are familiar with the NSLOOKUP command, dig is now the recommended command. To determine a company's primary DNS server, you can look for a DNS server containing a start of authority, or SOA record. An SOA record shows for which zones or IP addresses the DNS server is responsible. After you determine the primary DNS server, you can perform another zone transfer to see all host computers on the company network. In other words, the zone transfer gives you an organization's network diagram. You can use this information to attack other servers or computers that are part of the network infrastructure. Now let's stumble into the next topic. Identifying IP addresses by using zone transfers. When footprinting a network, you need to find the IP addresses and host names of all servers, computers, and other nodes connected to the network. With commands such as dig, you can perform zone transfers of DNS records. You can then use this information to create network diagrams and establish a good picture of how the network is organized. For example, you can see how many hosts are on the network and how many subnets have been created. In this example, zonetransfer.me is used to demonstrate conducting a zone transfer so that you can see what kind of information can be gathered from a zone transfer. At the time of this writing, the zone transfer with zonetransfer.me worked. However, many organizations are tightening security and no longer allow zone transfers, but you should still know the steps for performing one. Log on to Kali Linux and open a terminal shell. Your Kali Linux installation could be a physical computer, a virtual machine, or a Kali Linux live bootable USB stick. At the command prompt, type dig ns-zonetransfer.me and press enter. Two name servers indicated by ns are listed, nt1.digi.ninja and nsztm2.digi.ninja. This information might change by the time you perform this activity. If so, ask your instructor for guidelines. You can see the information that was available to a hacker during zone transfers. If a DNS administrator configured DNS correctly, the following commands shouldn't work. Incorrect DNS configurations leave systems vulnerable to attacks. To perform a zone transfer on the nsztm1.dig.ninja DNS server, type dig asfn1.dig.ninja zonetransfer.me and press enter. The nsztm1.digi.ninja server is the one for which you're attempting the zone transfer, and the second zonetransfer.me statement is the domain where the server is located. After a short wait, a few records appear. Do the transfer again, but this time use the less parameter by typing dig axfr at nsztm1.digi.ninja zonetransfer.me less and pressing enter. Press enter or spacebar to view additional records, and then press Q to quit. Close the terminal shell and log off Linux. Now let's fall into the next topic. Security tester. As a security tester, you should always be aware that an attack might be successful one day and unsuccessful another day. So, if an attack works, copy all files and data obtained in the hack to a hard disk or thumb drive as quickly as possible. In the example in Activity 4.6, the the security tester would have already obtained the necessary information and saved it to the company's server. It would not matter if DNS were properly reconfigured after the zone transfer took place. Game over. The tools you've just learned about aren't the only way to collect information. Sometimes information about a company is gathered using non-technical skills. In fact, the best hackers aren't necessarily the most technically adept people. Instead, they possess a more insidious and often underestimated skill called social engineering, discussed in the following section. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you are unable to do that, you will need to log in. Creating a YouTube account is free and takes less than a minute. To see more videos like this, please click in the rectangle in the middle of your screen. To see other videos from this channel, please click the circle on the bottom right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.